Hi everybody and welcome to Valley View Living. My name is Megan. I have 6 kids I'm raising out here in New South Wales, Australia. We're on a small farm here and we are homesteading, homeschooling, and I do an awful lot of homemaking here on my channel. If you enjoy that kind of content, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe. That way you'll know whenever I'm posting new videos. So today I'm going to start off with the lunch that I made for my family. I am doing beef stir-fry noodles. In my usual style, I am doing a deconstructed style so that I can serve the noodles separately from the vegetables and then the meat separately as well. So this buffet deconstruction style just works so well for a family and people who have different preferences. So that way the kids can come along and take the noodles that they like, the vegetables that they like, and the meat that they like, or any combination of the above. And I do not sweat it. I'm not upset about who gets what. They can choose whatever they like. Throughout the day we do lots of raw vegetables, plenty of fruit. I'm not worried about the amount of nutrients that the kids get into their bodies because I look at their diet as a whole over the days and over the weeks and even over longer periods, and just see that as long as those good nourishing foods are offered for most meals and most snacks, then they do not have to hit every vegetable, every fruit, all the nutrients in that one lunch or that one dinner. So it's good to just go easy on ourselves and cut ourselves some slack and realize even for ourselves that we can hit those nutrition goals over a longer period, over the many meals and snacks that we eat through the week, things like that. Just makes it so much more relaxed around mealtime because you're just not obsessing over who is eating what in that moment, and you can relax and enjoy your meal yourself as well. So I've just pulled out a few vegetables that are still hanging around. We've got our veggie box delivery tomorrow, so I need to get some of these used up. We've got some beautiful green snow peas there, a red onion, and what else? A few mushrooms. I've made a very simple stir-fry sauce here. So that is tamari. We've got organic tamari there, and I'm putting in about a teaspoon of garlic. You can use fresh or good old garlic. I've also just got some fresh ginger there, which I'm grating, probably another teaspoon of that. I have squeezed the juice of a whole lime in there. Lemon would work easily as well. You just want that sour hit. Then I'm adding in about a teaspoon of coconut sugar as well, and just salt and pepper. Now stirring that together, that is a nice, beautiful, simple stir-fry sauce. You can use that over chicken, you can use it over beef mince, as I am today, beef strips, sliced lamb, anything, and it's very good. So I'm going to fry up my sliced vegetables first, just in a little olive oil or butter would be good. When they are sauteed, I will add just a little of the stir-fry sauce over the top, and then I will take out those vegetables and pop them in a serving bowl while I figure out the rest of dinner. In the meantime, I'll get a big pot of boiling water going and pop in my udon noodles there. I love that brand. That's similar to Guzzi's. Something about the fresh processing of style of these noodles, of this pasta, helps with digestion, and these noodles are just really easily digested, delicious, and feel quite nourishing as well. So I'm going to boil those noodles off. It only takes maybe 5 minutes. Then I'll drain those and put them in another serving bowl. And then finally the beef mince. So I've just got 1 kilogram of beef mince there today for my family of 8, and then will probably be leftovers. So I will fry that off, and once it's browned, I'll add in my stir-fry sauce. Just simmer it for a few more minutes and then it will be all ready to serve. I would say that this lunch took me between 15 and 20 minutes to pull together, from getting things out of the fridge to eating. So it's a nice, quick, easy and nourishing one to keep up your sleeve for those days where you haven't got lunch planned. So to the homesteading side of things here on our little farm, we have 5 acres. And we also have my mum living right next door, right on the back of the property, on another 5 acres. which is something we've worked towards for a very long time. And I'm so happy that this has come together in this way. I love having her close by, and I hope that she feels the same about us. So what I'm getting to here is what animals we keep and why. So at the moment we have a very small flock of chickens. I have 4 hens, mixed heritage breeds, and 1 rooster. The hens have been going through their molt for the last probably 12 weeks. They are starting to look fantastic. Their new feathers have come in. They look fat, they look happy, they look sleek. And I am just waiting for the day that I start to get eggs again. I don't know if people really talk about how frustrating raising chickens, backyard chickens for eggs can be, because eggs are something that are seasonal as well. We're so spoilt to have them available in the shops year round that we come to raising hens in a way that we expect them to behave like a factory, providing us with eggs, like machines, egg-giving machines, laying an egg every day so that we will have enough for ourselves and we don't need to buy them. But realistically, this is not how hens work at all. Even the highest laying hens, I think the highest laying hen is something like 230 eggs in a year. I would have to double check that, but that's the memory I have stored there. And that's from heritage breeds and high producing breeds like the Isa Brown, which are not heritage. They are a modern breed who have been created for very high egg production, and as a result they actually have a very short lifespan in return. So with heritage breeds, yeah, the egg production is a bit lower than that, but they tend to live longer and be hardier. But all that to say that when you have a few chickens in the backyard, it's not like you will never need to buy eggs again. They are also stock that need quite a bit of attention and upkeep. So they need to have a certain amount of protein in their diet, quality feed, and changing their feed can be very difficult as well. They really are creatures of habit. They like a routine, and if you mess around with things and do things at different times, it will take them several weeks to adjust themselves accordingly. So be very thoughtful with changes to your backyard chickens. Now, we also have a very small mob of cows. We have one sort of matriarch cow, Hazel, who is maybe 4 to 5 years old now. She has her 3rd calf at foot, I think. His name is Jacob. As you can probably guess, he is being raised for the table. He's a lovely black, I think he's a Black Angus cross shorthorn cow, and he's growing well. He looks wonderful. He unfortunately is fluffy and gorgeous, but this is the reality of eating meat. The animals are still beautiful and you can still love them before you eat them. So we have Hazel, we have her calf at foot, Jacob, who is a bull calf. We have not steered him, but we will be processing him before he reaches maturity. Now we also have a couple of bottle-raised calves who are now coming up on probably about a year old. One heifer, who I look forward to having her bred and having her as a milk cow in the backyard. And then we have her brother, Cookies, who is a steer who is also being raised for the table. Now he is due to be butchered in about 2 weeks' time, and a whole steer, a Cookie's size, will probably could net about 200 kilograms of meat. So we will see how that turns out, and I will take you through the process as well, with great warning, because I understand that the homesteading side of this channel is not for everybody. So we have the 2 steers, the 1 cow and the 1 heifer, and then we also have this little bonus heifer who appears to have wandered onto our property as a calf. She was probably 8 weeks old when she first appeared, and she just seems to have bonded to our mob of cows, and they have accepted her, and that seems to be that. I've spoken to the neighbours and the surrounding farms, and nobody claims her. She has no identifying tags. And in speaking to some of the dairy hands around, they say that little calves like this aren't actually very, they're not very valuable two real commercial producing dairies in the area we live in. So if one goes walkabout or one goes missing, then it's not a cause for concern for them. So I don't know if I've scored myself a little bonus free heifer here, but I'm just going to, I can't do much else other than keep her here in my paddock and wait to see if somebody comes to claim her. As I say, I've put the word out and let everybody in the surrounding properties know. So yeah, we'll see what happens from there. So that's our little mob. We've got the 5 cows at the moment. Then we also have the 2 pigs out in the backyard. We have our mother pig, Princess Precious, who is a Duroc pig. She's a heritage breed. She's had 1 litter of piglets since arriving. She actually arrived pregnant. And we have raised up the boys from that litter of piglets and we have eaten them. So they are in the freezer. And actually we had some pork ribs, pork belly and some chops last night over a fire. It was a full moon here last night. So we try to, if possible, go out to the fire pit and have a fire and just get the family together around the full moon every month. And it's just, a beautiful setting. So that's the only reason why it's then, but it just makes us sort of remember to do that every month and just enjoy that outside time. I just want to apologise for the lighting here in this shot. My kitchen gets the afternoon sunshine coming in through those big windows you can see behind me. But by the time we've reached the evening, where I'm just starting to make this around maybe 3:34 in the afternoon, which is when the sun is starting to lower in the sky already in autumn, I just don't get much sunlight in the kitchen. So I'm trying to work out some lighting solutions so that this looks a little better for you, but just bear with me. I'm very new to all this, so just figuring things out as I go. Now I'm showing you how I make a very regular snack for my kids here and myself and my husband. We all enjoy this. It's such an easy, delicious way to get all this nutrition from fresh berries into our diet. And berries are definitely one of nature's superfoods. But not only that, they're totally delicious, right? So this is what we call a fruit whip in our house. It is literally whipped up fruit. It has to be frozen, and adding the banana adds that creamy texture. So this really does turn out just like a sorbet, very tasty. So you just put in some frozen berries, raspberries, strawberries are great, some frozen banana and juice just to cover, and blitz it up with your hand blitzer until it's that beautiful sorbet texture, and enjoy. Make sure you make enough for everybody. So I just want to be the place that shares these realities of motherhood with you as I head into the kitchen to start working on dinner. I'm juggling this baby in the baby carrier who is fussy and wants to be held but doesn't want to be in the carrier. So she just wants to be in my hands while I'm trying to make this meal. And of course, I've always got my little 3-year-old sidekick hanging out, and that's exactly where she should be. She wants to learn everything I'm doing and have her eyes on everything, which is fine. That's, I love this role, but it is also a juggle. It can be very stressful. And I remember when I was many years ago starting out with my first 2 children. So this is number 5 and number 6 that you can see me with now in the kitchen. But back in the day when I was a young 20-something mother and I had my oldest child was 3 and my second born was 1, I just remember feeling so stressed so often and needing to manage a meal while also doing the childcare of these young children was such a challenging task to me. I just remember feeling so overwhelmed and overstimulated, and it was just impossible to relax while getting those meals made. I'm sure that's not just me who has felt that way. There is something to be said for being a mum of a large family. You do get more practice, okay? So it is so hard having your first child and then your second child, and they're both young and you're just juggling it all and you're working so hard all the time. As you've gotten more practice over the years and hours and weeks and years and months of caring for children, you really learn to just manage your emotions a bit better, to realize the temporary nature of everything that you're going through, and the difficulties that you're facing won't always be the same. There might be different ones, there might be new ones, but it won't always be the same. What you're going through in this moment in time is very, very temporary, and it can help us just to keep that perspective and just remember to just be gentle with yourself. Be as gentle with yourself as you are with your children, because we all really just need the same things: patience and understanding and acceptance. So all that to say, let's make dinner. I'm just doing what really is a tray bake tonight, and I love tray bakes. For a large family, they are fantastic. So of course, when you've got many mouths to feed, you're going to spread out over 2 or multiple trays here. So my first tray is already just popped in the oven, and that was the chicken wings right out of the pack. Those were those organic chicken wings that we bought in the last grocery haul. So they're very good value and very good quality. So I've popped them on the tray, and I've put on dried onion, parsley flakes, salt, pepper, olive oil, and I think that was it on this night, and probably some garlic as well. And I've popped them in the oven. They'll probably take 45 to an hour. When I put them in the oven, they were actually still frozen solid. That's how prepared I was for dinner tonight. But they've come out just fine about an hour later. And then the second tray had diced sweet potato and also some leftover baked potatoes from a meal that we'd had recently. Twice baked potatoes are fantastic for you. They build up that resistant starch, which is a wonderful prebiotic fiber for your gut. So if you ever have leftover cold baked potatoes, fry them up, eat them. They're delicious, and they're also so good for you. So just serving up dinner now. This is what I love about tray bakes. You pop them in the oven, go do something else for an hour, come back, and you can serve this smorgasbord of yumminess. I'm just putting some of my homemade sauerkraut on this. I do not hold back on that. I will eat, a few tablespoons worth with my dinner, and it is really tasty and just such a good, easy way to get vegetables in. So I'm just leaving you with some footage of me using the bones from tonight's dinner to put together a chicken broth, just finding some old veggies here. I'm about to get my next veggie box, which I'll share with you tomorrow, and I'm using up some carrots and spring onion right into this chicken broth, and I will cook that for about 3 to 4 hours this evening. Then I'll turn it off, leave it on the hob overnight. It gets quite cold here, and it'll be ready to heat up again and use tomorrow or to store. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I love having your company while I go about my homemaking tasks. If you've enjoyed my content, please feel free to like, to comment, or subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!